Alright, 862 heads, cleaned up as much as I care to. They are, I think they'll be in good shape. I know I got one exhaust stud or bolt hole I'm going to have to repair, which is that one right there. I'm probably just going to drill it out and tap it, but while I was out here, I decided I was going to go ahead and pressure wash a little bit just to make some stuff a little bit easier to work on, a little cleaner. And while I'm waiting for the under the car to dry, which is now dry, I got the whole fuel pump setup done. So I took off the factory feed. I'm going to just use the stock return. This is the vent. Well, it goes like this. In the car it goes like that. So that's the return with my thumb, and the one below it's the vent. There's the power wire. I got an Evil Energy bulkhead fitting. Had to make a safe, or had to make a spacer, because this fitting, which threads onto the bulkhead, wasn't getting enough capture for my liking. And then I used some PTFE paste. This is kind of clockable, so it's on here just hand tight. Using the wiring that came with the pump, no problem there. The factory tube, the feed line, was right here, and this is where I hogged out a hole. I think I went 3/4, whatever's required. Got my new to me pump on here. Got my sock. Yeah, that's ghetto. Don't care. Same. So I've got like 4 or 5 zip ties going around, and then one kind of pulling down on the whole thing. It ain't going nowhere. And if it gets that kind of action inside the car, then we got problems. New sock is on there. Just rather than using the harness, because I had 2 different type of plugs, this is what came on the factory. Was supposed to hook up to the factory pump, and this right here is what came on the pump. I think some guy was running this in his Honda. I'm not really sure exactly, but it should be good. I'm not really worried about it. So that's ready to drop into the tank. I can probably go ahead and do that now. And then this is the nightmare. And it's not so much a nightmare, it's just going to be difficult, because that's where the factory lines are. They come up and run over to here. But running that new line, if I try to follow the same path, it comes down, runs all the way down there, then back up and over, and then it eventually, let's see if I can come over here. But they wind up dropping back down here and coming back towards the front of the car underneath here. So that'll be an easy run. Oh, there's the fuel filter. So I don't know, maybe I can tap into that. I don't really know. I do know this is the return line, and that's the feed. And I know I'm not appreciably increasing the amount of fuel availability, but I just don't want it to be a problem. There's my brand new flywheel rusting up. Don't really care. It's just surface rust. I'll clean it before I install a clutch kit when I get to that point. But I got to run out and get the right tool. I've got a flaring set up to do the flare on the ends of the hard line. To be honest, I'm probably going to deep six that filter and put one up under the hood. And I do have a fuel pressure regulator coming, but I'm going to just use the factory one for now to get this running. I can always do that later. So the hardest part right now is just running that line, but I got to run out and grab a tubing bender and then see what the hell I'm going to do about getting up and over that arm, because that's going to be a challenge. But I've got that aluminum line. Everyone and their mother says it's easy to work. Deleted the spare tire, which I already said. Got the new fuel tank ready to go in here. I will have to flip this over to here because this is the vent, and I had to run a pipe tap on that. But that's the whole rear subframe. It hardly weighs anything, maybe 45 pounds. And it's pretty easy to put up. But that's the project so far.